Okay, following on from my Robbie and Quan video, it's time to talk about El Serpiente, Miguel Diaz himself. Now, I said in the Robbie and Quan video, I want that to be the Anakin Obi-Wan type of fight. I want it to be the coolest one, the flashiest one, the most epic one, emotional gravity, tears and blood and all of that. I want this fight to be Creed 2 level. I want Axel to absolutely destroy Miguel and Miguel to fight through the pain like an absolute champ. What I want. That's what I want. I want him to fight through the pain like an absolute champ. I want him to get knock after knock after knock. Now, imagine this, right? Obviously, you don't do it in a way where you make Miguel look weak. You don't do that. But what you do is you have Miguel fight him to such a degree where it's very much like how Robbie was 2 points down and clawed back a 3-point victory. Give Miguel that. Have Miguel be beaten down 2 points in a row or something and have him just absolutely decimate Axel in a 3-point lance, just a clean sweep, clear him. Have it be a moment where I've talked a lot about how Robbie and Quan is going to be quite psychological. Quan's going to be tantalizing Robbie, all of that stuff. I feel like with Miguel and Axel, it's very old school. It's going to have a very specific Rocky ingredient to it, where it's more brutal, it's more physical. And it's basically, I said for Robbie and Quan, bad boy versus bad boy. This is beast versus beast. I want to see prime Miguel come back. I don't want to see season 4, standing there wandering aimlessly Miguel. As much as like mentality wise and growth wise, Miguel has grown a lot. I miss the old Kanye. I miss season 1 and 2 Miguel that was on smoke. He was on job. He was ready to throw down. I want to see that Miguel come back, and I think we will. The Miguel that was in the forest that laid the smack down to Hawk and put him on his ass, I want to see that Miguel come back. The Miguel that was in the coma sequence that drop kicked that guy or did the spinning tornado, like the correct. I don't know all the terminology. Correct me the correct terminology in the comments. Does a kick on that guy's head in the coma sequence. I want to see him do that to Axel. Like, imagine Axel was like a 6'4" monster. Miguel getting to that level of height and having a moment where if Axel is very much the Drago of karate, when Miguel's in so much pain, he's fighting through it. I said the same thing for Robbie and Quan. Quan is a manifestation of everything Robbie, could have become. In this case, Axel is a physical manifestation of everything Miguel has had to overcome. You see the difference there? Quan is everything Robbie could have been. Axel is everything Miguel has been fighting against. Everything he's tried to overcome. From the school fight to every other fight since. The physical challenges, learning to stand up for himself, learning to fight against his bullies. And there could be montages, and I didn't mention this in the Quan Robbie video, but I'm going to mention it here. Just imagine there's montages of the journey, like every hit that Axel puts on Miguel. You see, like, you don't do it cheap. You don't do it in a cheesy way. You do it in an earned way, where you see little flashback snippets of Miguel's journey across the whole show, where maybe the moment where Axel maybe, if there's a no holds barred kind of level to it, Axel has him in a chokehold. Maybe you have a moment where you call back to when Johnny has him like this. What does a Cobra do? Slither. Things like that. Go all in. Pull no punches. This is the final season. Now, the show has always bended rules in terms of what's acceptable in the tournaments and what's not. Anything is possible. I think there could be situations where there's no holds barred. Anything goes. It could be a fight to the last man standing kind of thing. And that's what I would love. If for Miguel and Axel's fight, I would love if they remove the point system and they make it a last man standing. That's I think you've got to do it in the right way. But like I said in what I want from part 2 in that video, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Robbie beats Quan in a 3-2 point ratio. Cool. Silver gets involved, rigs the whole thing, and it's a last man standing contest between last year's champ and this year's winner or captain or whatever. And then Robbie takes off the captain's headband, says to Miguel, this is your fight. It's not my fight, it's your fight. Or if anything, Robbie goes to fight Axel and gets completely, but then, at least then Robbie's done the job. But that's a video for another day. But sticking specifically on Miguel and Axel, I want this fight to be emotional. I want it to be brutal. I don't want it to pull any punches. And I want to see Miguel absolutely wipe the floor with Axel. And this is why there's no better time to do it than the Sekai Taikai. No better time. I just think there would be so much emotional gravity in allowing this show to just grow some cojones and have a fight that's a statement. Now, we all know Miguel was fighting for his future and he's fighting for college. Him winning the Sekai Taikai, I don't think a college is going to look at that and go, "Oh, sorry, you're in now." Like, I don't like, what's he majoring in? Karate? Like, I don't see it. What I do see, however, is if there's a last man standing fight between him and Axel to not only complete the Sekai Taikai and bring the trophy home and to get the final dub, but also the amount of heart that he will have to display in fighting this 6'4" giant. You know, the amount of heart, the determination. People around the world will be talking about that. So by definition, Robbie may have won the championship, but Miguel's the people's champion. He's the champion of the people. And then when Robbie goes on stage to get the trophy, he says, "Hey, brother, come here." And then they hold the trophy together because both of them brought it home. Like, I don't understand why people can't see the emotional gravity in that. I just don't see it. But, you know, I'm giving you a filmmaker's kind of perspective on it. It's not for everyone. I really think that this fight, especially the score by Leo and Zach, will deliver. And, you know, we've come a long way with Miguel. It started with him. The whole "it started with him, it should end with him" crowd. It will. That's how storytelling works. It's just you have to do it in a way that's organic. And just because the original trilogy started with Luke Skywalker, did Luke Skywalker defeat the Emperor? Or was it Darth Vader? Now, bear in mind, yes, it's Darth Vader's story, but that was before we had the prequels. So it started with him, it ended with it. Like, come on. It started with Vader, it ended with it. Yeah, well, until Disney came along. So I guess there you go. You can make that case in reverse as well. So it will still end with Miguel. There is many different ways they can go about it, and I trust the big three to deliver for both of these characters. And I guarantee you, even though Robbie and Quan's fight will be like the most epic one, I think Miguel and Axel's fight will probably be the most emotional. Like, you're seeing this like scrawny little kid that just wanted to stand up against bullies, who learned to become a badass and find balance. Look at him now, tearing it up on the grandest stage of them all. There's no better statement. And just because this is the final season, right, I guarantee you a few years down the road, they'll do season 7 or they'll do spin-offs. What's to say that just because Miguel and Robbie win here, it doesn't mean Hawk can't win down the road, or Kenny can't win, or Miguel can't win again? There's always another story to be told. You know, it's just this particular main saga is coming to its conclusion. Guys and girls, jump in that comment section down below. And the last thing I will say, in season 1, when Daniel comforts Robbie, imagine that this time, but for Miguel. Daniel and Johnny go on stage, they comfort Miguel. Daniel gives him about the balance, moving in a circle, all that stuff. And Johnny says, "Son, you got this." Doesn't call him Miguel. He says, "Son." The emotional gravity, chef's kiss. Boom.